All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Childcare Sights and Sounds. I am Dani.
I'm Gigi. I'm sorry.
See, you're whispering again. You have to project. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Childcare Sights and Sounds. I am Dani.
I am Gigi.
Let's try it one more time. Maybe look at your camera instead of George. This is a mess. Welcome back, everyone, to Childcare Sights and Sounds. I am Dani.
And I am Gigi.
And today we're working on the episode. Surprise!
What?
I wanted to take this specific episode to talk to you about your new role, similar to what we did on Zoom last week, which I don't know if I will ever release that episode, but like...
I didn't know this, y'all.
Yeah, it's fine. The next episode we'll record, we'll go into some fun stuff.
Okay.
But it is working hours. You're on the clock.
I am.
So let's get into some important parent coordinator duties and responsibilities.
Okay.
For the pleasantries, though, I'm so excited to announce, or we are so excited to announce that we have manifested Miss Brandy Hall coming on the podcast. So she will be with us, if not in the next episode, in the following episode, because she'll be coming to New York in a few days. So that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Super, super exciting. But until then, for today, I was really inspired to make an episode all about what I tried to talk to you about last night at Benihana, which is the calendar.
This is my coffee. Yeah, she knows what she's doing, guys. She did this on purpose. All right.
I just want to say, we have matching laptops.
I did not know that. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't. But, like, isn't that cute? Look, hold your laptop up.
I definitely agree.
How cute.
Okay.
You can enter if you need to.
I'm trying to see if it is. It's telemarketing. All right, so the first thing...
phones start ringing
nonstop.
Like, we've been doing setup for an hour and nobody called.
All right, so what is the first step to... First of all, for those of you who don't know, Dani has been trying to get me to calendar blog going for like 5 years now. So what is the first step that you would want me to remember is important to do this? So that way I have it playing in my head over and over again after today.
I love that you asked that question, and it seems as if you're open to the idea and like.
Are you saying that because I'm never open to it?
I think that anytime I suggest something new or different to you, your immediate thing is to get into defense mode and like talk about how you either do it already or you do it differently or you do like you're not usually open to newness. And I'm sure it's recorded on the podcast. Actually, you rejected this role on are you okay? Do you need a tissue?
I'm not crying for this episode. You know how you're about to sneeze but it doesn't come out? Mm-hmm. Sorry guys. Dani's not making me cry again. It's not what's happening.
This is gonna be the clip that I use for the thumbnail. The picture on the YouTube.
They're gonna think something else is happening and they're gonna be like, that's deceiving. I hate when other YouTubers do that. You know that, right? Or movies.
Clickbait.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's what gets the views.
They're gonna be like, wow, Dani. And not that I'm not open to newness. I'm always open-minded, but it's also good to know. So I think sometimes for you, it's you sometimes take it as I don't want to receive it. How do you know you're not delivering it so I can receive it? Because
you cut me off before I even, like yesterday when we went to dinner. We went to lunch that turned into dinner.
It definitely it was like 6 something
3-4 hours in Benihana yesterday. So we went on a working lunch
They didn't say nothing. I just thought about that. They didn't say anything
Yeah.
to us.
I mean, it was empty.
It was light when we walked in and it was dark when we walked out.
We went on a working lunch with myself as the owner, Gigi as the now parent coordinator, and another administrator as a bookkeeper. We went to lunch yesterday to focus on the enrollment within our programs and the expected enrollment for the summertime. And at the end of that lunch where we and it was super productive. I'm so happy that we did it.
I agree.
It was needed for sure, because we had tried over the past couple of weeks we kept saying oh, we're gonna have this meeting, we're gonna talk about this. We kept putting off, or at least I did, kept putting off looking at the enrollment to see what it would be in the summertime, which is always important to have a projection of what your tuition payments are going to look like and all of that, and how much spots you have available and everything. Yeah. But anyway, at the end of that lunch / dinner, I was, I think I had said something let's set a goal for what we want to accomplish in the next meeting. And then that somehow turned into I don't even know how we started talking about your role and what you're going to do tomorrow or something that.
We did set the goal. The goal was to work on what we did but for the third location, and then work on the next family engagement with his muffins with.
No, the goal for the next meeting that all three of us had was, yes, to finish the third location's projections, but then if you remember, it was also to focus on the full-time equivalent, the FTE.
Oh yes, to see the so for example, I asked a question if there's 4 spots and 2 of them are school day and the other 2 are school age, would it make sense to not put up the school day session and reserve those 2 spots for full day, because financially it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not even gonna take a deep dive into FTE and all
it sounds interesting though. Ironically, as shocking as it, I didn't think I would be intrigued, but I really would like to know more into depth about that, because I think it'll give me an understanding on when I'm touring or when I'm marketing us, in a sense, that push for full day.
Yeah, you have to know that information.
Yeah, because sometimes I depending on the parent situation, I push for a part day because I'm more so, oh, they're new to daycare, they haven't been to daycare before. See, I don't know that, so I would go that route to help them ease their child into the center and then potentially turn into full day. But once I know more information, I'm sure the goal is, okay, no, he'll be fine full day.
Yeah. You've been suggesting parents to do school day only.
It really depends. It's for me, sometimes it's not just the parent that's enrolling, it's the child. And if they're coming from, I had a child who was a pandemic baby, 2.5 years old, never started daycare anywhere, only been home with grandma. Filling them into a center 7:30 to 5:30, that's a huge adjustment for them. So we were figuring out baby steps to get them accustomed to it. It could be where let's fill them in 7:30 to 5:30 and they'll adjust, or if we want to do step-by-step thing how to parent fill this to 8 to 2, and then we'll take it from there. It really,
I get what you're coming from, but I didn't realize that you were doing that.
Depending on the situation of the family, in my head, my goal is to service the needs. I didn't want it to be where it doesn't work out because we rushed the process, or we threw a child in that wasn't really ready to be there for 8 hours a day, and it's 4 hours a day would be better for them. But it could be where we go a different direction, where it's still a full day, but then we'll do call the parent a little bit more, or do a little bit more one-on-one session. We could find different alternatives to adjust a child who, like I said, never been in a setting like that before, as opposed to making their day shorter.
Yeah. Or we could limit, yes, those are all great strategies to implement. Or we could also, if that doesn't work out, or if a family is not comfortable with doing full day, we could make sure we do, like we said yesterday, and, have a certain number of spots reserved for
just 8 to 2.
Yeah, this is our, this is the amount of availability that we have for school day session. And once those school day, which is what we call our part day, once those slots are filled, then we don't have any more school day. It's only full-time spots open. If you're looking for something different, then this is not the program for you right now. Or you could be waitlisted. Yeah. But we shouldn't just settle on as many kids comes in everybody's school day just because like it's easiest for the parent. Like that's financially it's not feasible. Or we would have to start cutting hours or reducing the amount of staff. Um, but anyway, that then the full-time equivalent conversation then turned into what you're going to be doing tomorrow, which is today. And funny enough, you're here today instead of doing what you were going to do. But we talked about like the calendar. And I really think that I didn't explain this yesterday in front of our bookkeeper, but like I kind of touched on it that like you're gonna be home now. You already started working from home. I'll ask you how that's going later. But I touched on the fact that like since you're gonna be working from home, you're gonna have a lot of time on your hands where nobody is really interrupting you other than phone calls that you have to answer, yes. But other than phone calls, like your daughter's not even there to like bother you. So you have a lot of like leisurely time, but that time should be productive with work, not just waiting for somebody to approach you about something or waiting for Dani to send you an email saying, could you please do this? Or let's plan this. It's like you have to have in this new role, you have to have forward thinking and constantly checking the calendar in advance to see what's coming up or what should be coming up. What could we add that would be beneficial to make it a better experience for our families and to attract new families? Because part of your role is, like we were talking about yesterday, planning and executing events and reminding families about events that have something to do with the families. So part of that was the most upcoming thing. Is it next week? Is Teacher Appreciation Week?
Next week.
And you brought to my attention like, oh, that you should be telling the parents that it's coming up. Well, actually, you thought that we wanted you to plan something
Correct.
for Teacher Appreciation Week, but no, you're not focusing on the teacher experience. You're focusing on the parent experience of retention and attracting them, and enrolling the families into the program. So you should be letting the families know what's coming up, what's going on, and like helping them to engage with the program, you know? Mm-hmm. So one thing that if you weren't here recording this podcast right now, maybe you could put it for tomorrow. One thing that I would recommend as one of your tasks for tomorrow, if Teacher Appreciation Week is next week, you could put on your calendar for like 30 minutes or however long you think it's going to take, draft out or schedule emails and text messages to go out to the parents. Like next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, as a text. You know, another thing is like sending an email. Next week is Teacher Appreciation Week. Here are the ways that we can show teacher appreciation. Like just scheduling time for yourself to draft emails that are well thought out, grammatically correct, like not rushed. Like that takes some time. Sometimes it takes me 30 minutes just to make a nice email. Mm-hmm. So that's something that would be in order to avoid like forgetting about it or not doing it at all. That's something that I would add to the calendar. Like if I were you, for tomorrow, maybe between 10 and 11, that's my block time of I'm creating email templates and text templates for parents.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
It's an idea. It's new, so it's putting it into place and then following up with it and just see what the outcome is. It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And then I know we also talked about yesterday, like the process of planning events. Like the next thing coming up, I think we saw was Muffins with Mom, the Mother's Day event that we're gonna do. And you were asking me, can we make time to discuss it or to like plan it? And I was saying to you that like that is what you do now. Like you're just planning with anything regarding the families, you're going to plan it and then present it as like, this is what I would like to do. This is what we need to do. This is where we need to get this stuff, when we need to get it, all of that. And then I would just be like, yes or no, or find something like change this part or something like that. Planning events would be happening by yourself instead of with a whole group of us as directors and admin and all of that. Like, and if you notice, or I have started to notice lately, whenever I ask for ideas on the Zooms that we have with admin, I don't know if it's because it's last minute or whatever, nobody says anything most of the time. Usually it's just our second center director that has ideas, or you, but everybody else is kind of quiet when I ask for ideas. And I can kind of even see our third center director looking like she wants to say something and biting her tongue
Yeah,
and
nobody
not
ever.
saying it.
You forgot. I tell you this all the time. As soon as the Zoom is over, everybody's texting me a whole bunch of different ideas, and I'll be like, "Why are you guys not speaking up during the morning meeting?"
Well, you know what? Great. Cut out the middleman. I don't need to waste my time then
I
if
think it's a
nobody's
little
going to
bit.
say anything.
Well, the issue is, and not to throw you underneath the bus, because there are times where, like, I would personally get annoyed and like would be like stressed trying to figure out a little bit. It's like you said, it's probably because you're acting last minute, and it's just like on top of everything else that's stressful, we're like scrambling trying to figure out what to do, especially for Teachers Appreciation. And I'm honestly very disappointed us that it's next week and we didn't do anything. And it's crazy because last year we talked about it. Was like, we're gonna make sure like we have stuff together like a month in advance. But it's, you have set it up so this doesn't happen like last minute moving forward. But I think it's because no one wants the stress of trying to figure out, hey, I brought up this idea. Okay, they could probably see, since I brought up the idea, they're gonna be the one to have to like be tasked with the idea. So it could be where no one wants to do that on top of it being so last minute. It is stressful trying to figure out things last minute, especially for the teachers.
I get what you're saying, like that it's last minute, is stressful, all of that. But exactly. So now it could be like one person's, your responsibility to look ahead, plan all this stuff ahead, present it at morning meeting. This is what we're gonna do. Anybody see a problem with that?
Yeah.
And I'm sure nobody will have problems with whatever is already planned.
Especially if we're given them the information, all they have to do is execute it. And I also think it plays into a factor of making sure everyone is present. And I know this year we've done that, is that everyone's there for when we plan out our events for the whole year. Like we mentioned, like the center assembly, like, and I was like, well, what family workshop? And you was like, what's the family workshop? And he was like, we don't know. So we need to be more in detail than playing it out, where it could be like we pick something and then we'll call the company organization and then just take it from there, as opposed to waiting the month before it and now we're trying to figure out what the family workshop is.
Right.
But like you said, that's what I'm here for now.
Yes. Part of the job. Yes. In addition to that, like, yes, a bigger, major part of your role would be the recruitment of new children. I think I said in a different episode that our marketing manager's job is to like attract them through social media and different outlets or whatever. And then when they call us, your job is to like reel them in.
Yes,
so true. She like gets them on the hook with the bait and you just
keep them, reel them in. Yeah. And then make them all nice and comfortable, and then I leave them in the care of our directors.
Yeah. But can you see how even with, you saw your job description was 2 pages long.
Yeah,
right?
I was telling you that's what my main focus on. Like I was reading, it's very detailed, and I had some good. That's what we should have recorded, is the questions from that day. Oh, we did
record it. I'll probably release it. I'll probably release it before this, which means this one will probably come out next week.
I would like to see how it looks first.
It's gonna be fine. But I think that oh yeah, I was saying that your job description has a lot of details on it. And can you, like, thinking about going back to the calendar for a second, thinking about like what we just talked about, like you planning the events and you for families specifically, and you having the role of recruiting them in, like taking them through the pipeline of, I'm calling to inquire, I sent you the information, can you complete the registration forms, can you do the tour, can you contact DSS, like all of that is a lot in just those 2 responsibilities.
It's not.
It is a lot.
Well, maybe I'm saying it's not because I've already been doing that part of it for so long. That part, I don't find that a lot. It's a few things that we haven't done yet.
About, I'm not talking about like, oh, here's little Susie over here, one family. Think about the amount of people that you're about to begin dealing with, especially filling up 2 centers by September.
I'm up for it. I get what you're trying to say. I know it's gonna be a lot, but I don't want to have it in my head that it's a lot.
I'm not saying it's going to be difficult or too much for you, but I'm saying that, like, just given that those 2 things alone is a lot to do, you have to organize your time very clearly. Like, it can't, you're going to have stuff where, yes, you have to react. Like, being reactive and proactive is now part of your job, like in 2 very different ways. You're going to have to react to the phone ringing, and now it's in the moment. Yes, you have to attend to that family that's on the other line, like, and not just like a quick, like, oh, hi, I'm calling to inquire. That it's not just, okay, which location? It's, sure, I can help you with that. Put a smile on your face. Sure, I can help you with that. Can I get your name, please? What made you give us a call today? Going back to years ago when we were following a script, you now have the time and space and quietness to do all of that properly, to give them that whole experience. So yes, that's reactive, and now entering them into the system and starting all the things you need to start. But then the proactive part is that you have to look at, when you're not focusing on the family that's calling or whatever, now you have to focus on, like, okay, that part is done. Let me make sure I have time today to plan the donuts with dad that's happening in 3 weeks. Like, let me get all this information together, schedule out the email reminders to parents, the text message reminders to parents. Let me call the Dunkin' Donuts, make sure we got enough, like all of that stuff. So if that's not, it can't be that you're going to wake up tomorrow and be like, what should I do today? Or wait for something to happen. You get what I'm saying? Whereas when you were a director, and you were coming in, especially into a center that was short staffed, most of your day, understandably, was reactive, where you were like, there were so many things that were constantly happening every minute that were seemingly out of your control, that you had to, like, okay, this person needs a bathroom break. There's nobody else. I have to step in and give them a bathroom break. Okay, that person needs to go on lunch. There's nobody else. I have to go give them a lunch break legally. Like, your day was filled up by mostly responding to things. And I think the reason why I'm harping on, like, let's get you used to this calendar is because now you're not going to have that so much. And I want to make sure that you're set up for success in exceeding our expectations, and, like, um, having productive days, basically. So that's the reason why I bring it up, and why I wanted to work on it today, to, like, maybe give you a idea of, like, if we were to plan out the rest of your week. Your calendar doesn't need to look like, it's not going to look like mine. You don't have all the responsibilities or all the liabilities or worries that I have to do every day. So yours not going to look as full as mine, but we can put stuff on your calendar to make sure that certain things get done, and, like, just get you started in the habit of putting your tasks together in an organized way, you know? And I think it's so funny that you mentioned yesterday our bookkeeper and her Post-it notes. Like, what does that look like in her office? Like, she's writing down, like, lists on Post-its and just sticking them up.
I want to say there were reminders. Like, I just, like, took a glimpse of it. It's just sticky notes of different things. But I think just, like, extensions, reminders, numbers, or, like, codes, passwords, like, just a bunch of miscellaneous things.
Yeah. You see how sometimes we get pictures of, like, her or the director will send a picture of, like, they wrote on a Post-it note, somebody called 3-year-old, whatever, 3-year-old tour tomorrow, whatever, and then take a picture and put it in the group chat. So now when we have information like that, or when you get information like that, it's not like, I'm just going to keep this here or mark it unread on my phone. Like, it could be like, okay, let me open my calendar, put tomorrow, 9 a.m., call, blah, 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 like, transfer the information to your calendar so that you can see what to do at what time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I thought I would just call him back in that same moment.
What if you're on the phone scheduling the donuts?
as soon as I'm done. Shouldn't
But then
isn't
what
the
if you
goal
have
is
on your
to?
calendar to
But isn't
call?
you?
What if you have to call 3 other people before that?
But then you're kind of like confusing me because you said we should reach out to parents as soon as possible within
Correct.
the 24-hour period.
Yes. However, that's why I said tomorrow 9 a.m. Like what I'm saying is, what if you're gonna get to a point where you have so much stuff that is already like you probably could have gotten 5 or 6 other post-it note pictures just like that. But then what if the phone rings while you're in the middle of calling those people back? So what I'm saying is like you have to get into the habit of creating a system for yourself to remember to do things in the order in which you receive them, because other distractions might pop up or the phone might ring or you might get an email. You're going to have to prioritize like the urgency in which to respond to things. And for me, and I know that it could happen for you, the easiest way to do that is by keeping it organized on the calendar of looking at like what time to do certain things. Because and then the other great thing about it is if it doesn't happen in that time or something else comes up, like you could drag and drop and move things over, move it down on the day so you don't just it doesn't slip your mind, you don't forget about it. That's all I'm saying. Like to summarize or to wrap up this episode, we could uh like I mentioned before, plan out like the rest of your week, like Wednesday to Friday. What are the things that you know you have to do? And you already kind of started doing it. You just asked me, should you?
Yeah, one task, it makes sense to skip over that and work on something else because I'm slowly realizing that some of these things take other people to do their part. And the
Mm-hmm.
sooner I make those people aware of their parts, I can confirm and know exactly what we have going on.
Right. So if it takes, as an example, if it takes somebody else to do something in order for you to do your part, what could you do or put in your calendar to make sure that that person does their part?
Well, reminders. Um, constant reminders and just following up, but it also depends on who that person is. It could be where I just tell that person, please be at one of our location at this day and time, and I would just like schedule send emails reminding them like maybe like a week before and like 2 days before and maybe the morning of just to ask final the morning of the day before email would be slightly different from the other emails. It would be more so okay like yay, we're excited to have you tomorrow. Anything that you may need last minute. Or is there any changes, anything that I need to know that could possibly tomorrow go smooth?
Mm-hmm.
So that initial email will be different from the other emails. But if it's just someone showing up, it'll be much easier as opposed to if it's someone has to physically do something or they need to do something along with me. That could be a bit more difficult. So I would want to hope that person is just as committed as I am, depending what the task at hand is.
They don't have to be. Well, like what I was looking for more so is like, how can you make sure that you don't let something slip through the cracks if it requires somebody else to do something or give you
Oh,
information?
updates, but then updates and making sure like they have clear understanding of like what my expectations are. If it does include someone else, like right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have anxiety about this workshop. I don't know what it's going to look like.
When the camera was off, we were talking about the plans for how we have to have
Oh,
a family
yes,
workshop
because if this person
next
says
month.
no,
And one of our center directors suggested a certain person to host a workshop for us. And what?
if nothing happens because it's kind of like last minute, can I do something? Like, can I host a workshop? I know
Yeah,
that's
you
not an
can.
idea. Like, meaning, like, can I be the one?
Correct. You
Um,
could. Yes.
okay, but that's probably gonna be Plan C.
That's
If I
fine.
can't get A and B.
That is completely fine. It could even be like a workshop that just talks about things that families need to
Things.
know. Yeah, like so how we got the email yesterday or the day before with the parent that was upset because that tadpoles didn't have the temperature of her child. Like that's not something we do. So like it could be like common misconception, like informing families about like, this is how we do, this is what tadpoles is for, this is what you should be looking for on tadpoles, this is how you communicate with us. Because like for some parents like try to send us messages through kangaroo time. We're not using kangaroo time for messages, we're using, you call us.
That I feel like that should be part of their enrollment process.
Yeah, but I'm saying as a last minute, I don't know what to do.
I want to say I understand what you're trying to say. Maybe it wouldn't be that particular. I guess that's an example, but it could be something that if I see across all centers is constantly being an issue or misunderstood. Okay, let's do a quick like an hour workshop on this topic and give parents a chance to ask questions and stuff like that.
It could be like an update on this is how the rest of the year is gonna go. We're gonna have graduation on this day. This is what you need to know about graduation. Before that, we're gonna have parent teacher conferences one more time. With the parent teacher conferences, we expect you to show up, or we expect you to call in. And if there are concerns about your child, this is the resources we're gonna give you.
So then if that's the case, this workshop that's coming up first of all, this workshop is at one location.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
So we talked about that yesterday of like how I was saying it could be that we do workshops at each location at the same time, like, or we could pick it where we have one workshop at one location and any family interested in the workshop can go to that location. So we can maybe cycle through. Like,
do you want to do like a schedule? Like what is your expectation
like
for that?
May's workshops could be at the third location. September's workshop could be at the first location, or it could be depending on what the subject is or who has to present. Like for example, the first one that we do at the beginning of the year might be more of like an information session where the director should probably host it, and it wouldn't possibly be able to be held at one site in one classroom for everybody. But if we're doing like, we've done a workshop before on like CPR, not every parent is really in need of or interested in that. So we could just do a small group at one of the sites.
So then with that being said, like you just planted a seed, so maybe this workshop should be informative on graduation or summer camp.
When is it?
It is. Oh, why am I in June? May 16th.
It could be. I still think it would be a good idea to reach out to the person.
Oh yeah, I am. I'm just trying to get ahead of. I don't want it to be like, oh, this person didn't work out. What am I gonna do now? I actually want to have things in place, so if this doesn't work out, I immediately pick up the ball from that second one. So it could be, yeah. I'm sorry, not May 16th. I said May 16th or May 17th to you.
You said 16.
Okay, I did get it right. Okay.
Yeah, so if that person doesn't work out, then yes, you can plan something yourself. And it should be that if you are going to plan something yourself, you know exactly. It's not like, okay, this is the topic, it's not summer camp, okay, that's what we're going to do, that's it. You would then need to put a script together for yourself, put a presentation together, like make sure that you're not winging it when you're up there because it's an hour long. Like take the several hours that you might need leading up to the event, put it in your calendar, like, okay, I'm going to work on the presentation, making sure it looks good, making sure everything's grammatically correct, making sure I have my cue cards, I know what to say. Like, we're not just winging it. But we can't plan that right now. We can't possibly plan all the speaking points right now. But that is an example of something that, like, if that person says no or she's not available that date or whatever, when you're home one day or 2 days or 3 days, like you're taking several hours out of those days to like actually think about what is it that you're going to say relating to summer camp. So you already decided that you want to first focus on the workshop because the muffins with mom is going to be easy.
It really is going to be easy because it's really more so the center, the director that's going to be initiating and setting up. It's me making sure that I have the muffins. I don't know if decorations is needed. I don't know if that's something you leave up to the directors to do, or if you would want me to go and like purchase whatever it is that they need. Because if it's up to me, baby.
Is it up to you? Think about your role.
No, listen, because if it's up to me, like, I want to be there to decorate and get, like, balloons for Party City, like, get flowers and have this whole, like, tea party muffin and mom set up and just tell them that come dressed up very cute. Like, I want to go all out, but I don't want to hear...
But you're gonna hear that. This is a business that has.
Oh, you're gonna hear what?
You're gonna hear sometimes.
Oh, how do you know I didn't even finish my sentence?
Because I see where you're going with it. But be FFR. Like, you can't. We don't have a budget to the moon for every single little.
So
event.
let's work on that. So that way I'm not constantly feeling disappointed. Like when I have ideas, and tell me like what is my budget for each thing, or it could just be a general budget across the board that I will be able to realistically develop ideas around it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because when I have an idea and I want to like. You know how you get excited, you got to work on something like right now? When I have my ideas and I visualize it.
Back up from the camera, please.
No, you're right. Because she be taking my ideas from me and crushing them, guys. And I just like, I visualize it. I'm like, balloons here and a centerpiece there. And I'm like, Dani, okay, yeah, I need the car. And she's like, we don't have that on our budget. And I'm just like,
well, now that we're planning things, you're planning things in advance, you can have but I think you're right. Like, I can give, and that's easier for me too. And I have done that recently with, what did we do recently? And I was like,
Easter.
No, it wasn't Easter. It was months ago where I said
Halloween.
Oh no, it was the Valentine's Day dance.
And you gave us all
and
the budget.
I was like, you can have $500 per center. I think it was either like $300, $400, or $500.
It was $300. It wasn't $500 because it was $500.
But our second center director was like, "That's too much. We don't need that much."
Yeah, and I told her she talked about herself and herself only. So she talking about we could create it. Nope. Swipe, please. Purchase, swipe.
But yeah, that's easier for me to say. Like, okay, $500 per center. Do what?
Yes, please. Because then, like, if I know ahead of time, as I'm, like you said, working on these ideas, instead of me coming to you and saying, can I have this? I already know what I'm working with. And it's more so saying, instead of saying, I can have this, hey, Danielle, this is what it's going to look like. This is the setup. I spoke to the director. This is how it's going to be planned. Mm-hmm. And I'll just show it. And
also keep in mind, we have, I spoke to our previous employee who did the setup for our anniversary. And I told her that we would likely want to use her multiple times throughout the year.
Okay, so
that was
is she included in like my events? Like, can I be like, oh, I want to use her for this?
I think you should sparingly use her because she was expensive. I think it was like, how much did I pay? I think it was like a couple $1,000
for each center or total.
I think for each center.
Danielle. But then you telling me no?
It was our anniversary. No. Where we usually have a gala.
That's fine. I understand what you're saying, but no disrespect, she did an amazing job. Sorry. She did an amazing job. No disrespect. But it took her 20 minutes.
It didn't. No, it didn't. Even if it took her 20 minutes, like, I'm not saying that it wasn't worth it. It was
worth it, but it's just for a couple $1,000.
Let me get it right.
Yeah, because if it's it better just be a couple of $100.
She needed $400 as a deposit.
That's fine.
Then in total, it was $2,040. So $2,000
for all centers.
For all three.
Oh, that's not bad.
But there's
some birthday parties alone that is just $2,000.
Right, but it was just the balloons. And I'm not saying just as in it shouldn't have been worth that. It is what it is. It came out beautiful. But keep in mind that's just the balloons and the letters, and that was, what else did we have? Balloons and letters.
Just balloons and letters.
Balloons and letters. So if that's gonna eat up, if you're talking about $500 per center, that alone is more than $500 per center.
I know, but something like that,
We can't go that extravagant.
No, something like that. Because when I say balloons, I'm thinking about I go party city and just pick up balloons. That kind of balloons.
Yeah.
Something like that, like you mentioned, it would be like
that
for
could
graduation.
Be more so, yes.
It could be for an anniversary.
Yes.
It could be for big milestones as a company. That makes sense. Or depending on honestly the event at hand, you might find it worth to go a bit above and beyond depending on the issue.
Yeah.
But no, when I say like swipe, I don't mean that kind of swipe. It's more so like, okay, I know what I'm working with. I want it to be delivered a certain way, so let me make sure I know exactly which direction I'm going in with it.
Right.
So that's all that it is. Like the workshop with mom, I want like our
the
color
balloons.
With mom. Yeah, color like our.
I think that should be like pink and
like lilac and pastel pink, and I actually wanted like some fake flowers. But set up like on the table for each classroom, and maybe have the muffin set up and just have. I don't know if you guys seen it. I don't know if it'll be too much. Like I want to say there's plastic teacups because it's like muffins with mom. It's like a little tea party, and
that alone would probably be $500 per center. We have hundreds of kids across all. Like we're talking about a decorative plastic teacup for every child, for every mom that could possibly show up. It could be hundreds of teacups necessary.
Let's see. I don't think so.
You know what?
If it's plastic teacup.
This is exactly why part of your role is planning, because it's gonna take a long time to figure out like what is realistic and what is not.
Yeah, no. Look at this.
Okay, let me see.
How cute is this? But hold on, wait. Yeah, it's paper. Talking tables, cup set, disposable, truly scrumptious party, teacups, and saucers set, mint green, 1052.
Why are you reading this? Let me see the freaking teacups.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my teacups.
This is okay. 10 of them.
Okay, here we go.
So no, do the math.
I know the math is coming. Where's your pre-calculator? with the click calculator. Is it in your bag? Okay.
Here
all
comes the attitude.
1052. There's no attitude. No, honestly, I do understand because it's like you don't want to make a dent. And not an unnecessary dent. We have to be financially smart. We're like and
I'm not saying it has to be $500 per center. Like it could be more, it could be less, depending on the significance of the event.
It has to make sense.
Maybe we could have like $700 per center for muffins with mom.
And also depending, like you said, on the event.
If it's like for the family workshop, no, we're not spending hundreds of dollars on a workshop. No. But actually that's a subject.
I know we have.
Well, if we use the speaker, that speaker is going to be $1,000.
What speaker?
Oh, the director's suggestion.
To talk about. I'm sorry. I know I said swipe, but there's some swipe that has to make sense.
You don't know what the subject is. That's what I'm saying. Just reach out to her and ask about the subject. But all of this that we're doing right now is what you would be doing alone.
No, it does make sense because like we've come a long way financially. Let's not throw money like we have money to throw away, like whether we did or not. But it would make sense where we're able to budget and we could project what expenses are going to be, so that way we have an idea of where we're spending money.
I agree that we need to. It would be helpful for you to be given whatever the budget is in advance, and I can definitely do that. But you honestly, you need to just remind me in advance, I'm about to start planning for this. What can my budget be?
Okay. You know I will.
Yeah. And then there might be times that I'll say, I'll let you know, give me a second, I'm doing something. And if I don't let you know,
I'll still plan and be like, this is how much this costs. Is that okay? Or was that in your projected budget? Like, I don't want you to stop me from doing what I have to do. So I'll keep going on. And then you'll let me know. Well, I should be planning well in advance that if you change the budget, it shouldn't affect what I have planned. Right. It would be more so, okay, now that I have the budget, I know what we're going to spend. I can now really move forward and just let you know, like, everything is great. This is what's happening on this day. And that's just that.
Yeah. And then, of course, you would have to organize going to get this stuff or sending me or it could be like stuff from Amazon or whatever, sending me the link so I can buy it. or picking it up either yourself or with a driver, or asking the driver to get it, and then organizing, like, you're trying to execute your vision by explaining to the directors what to do or where to set up, because realistically
I can't be
you're
everywhere.
not going to go to all 3 centers by yourself on Muffins with Mom Day and
I
set
could
everything up before.
I probably won't set everything up. I could probably maybe go to one center and just maybe help put my hand in there. I'll actually just go from each center, but as they're planning, setting up, hey, just came to see how it's going, how it's looking. This is what I just want to see if my expectation is being executed. And if they have questions, like make sure like they have the sign-in sheet, like have everything that they need, and even maybe again hop around just to show my face to a few parents and just go, like, all of that should take maybe an hour and a half of me hopping from center to center, making sure everything is set up, and just like spending 15-20 minutes with each parent and just head out, because it could be, like you said, I won't be able to be everywhere. And of course you would probably let me know which event you would feel like I need to be there from like beginning to end. That would make sense for you, or how you would want to see it.
I don't think you need to be at any, maybe the family workshop. If there's an event it's everything is in one place, like the workshops,
possible.
like, then yeah, you could go to the event if the event is in one place.
Yeah.
But if it's a Muffins with Mom or Donuts with Dad or the Valentine's Day dance where every center was doing the same thing at the same time, it's not possible for you to be there. And yeah, you can pop in and out if you want to, but I don't have that expectation of you being everywhere.
No, but of course, I would try just to make sure the service and things are executed and families are seeing the change and engagement, and the consistent follows with that stuff.
Okay, so we got 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead and plan your tomorrow. And just for context, while you bring up your calendar, I'm going to just show my screen, or maybe I'll do a screenshot and show you guys like a picture of it within it. But this is like the view, and I know I've spoken about it in other YouTube videos, but this is the view of what my calendar typically looks like on a weekly basis. It's not, most people view their calendar like this, like in the monthly view where they can see. And for me, this just doesn't work for me. It doesn't make sense, because I guess I'm looking at my calendar as more so an agenda. And I don't know, did you get agendas in high school?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Emily has one?
Yes.
Because I think I heard you say yesterday, did you get an agenda?
Yeah, we didn't have it in school, but now like all schools have
You never got an agenda?
I did my own little agenda where like I had my little notebook where I write my little notes on my homework for each classroom. That was my own personal agenda. But in school, you show my age, woman. We didn't get agendas.
I thought it was like like when you didn't have like a homeroom.
We had homeroom for attendance, and then we had to go to homeroom beginning of the day and sometimes at the end of the day. And if you weren't in homeroom, you got marked absent for the day, even if you went to all your classes.
Maybe that's why there's a difference here in like expectations. Because like for me, throughout, I didn't start operating the business this way by using what I call calendar blocking method. I didn't start like this. I started doing this in 2018, I think, like right before I moved to Philly. And once I started doing this, like, I can't even imagine what I was doing before. Like, probably nothing. I was probably just like literally reacting to whatever anybody threw at me for that day, or like you said about our bookkeeper, just writing things on Post-it notes, forgetting it, not really keeping organized. But like, this really just brings me back to the mode of using an agenda book, where in our homeroom, or I don't think we had homeroom in high school, but either the first or second period of the day, we would have to take our agenda books out and like make sure we're writing in.
So maybe that's why, like you said, expectations are different. We weren't set up with that. The only thing I remember that was great is that they taught us how to balance out our checkbooks.
And who uses those anymore?
Okay. Who would have known then we would be using checkbooks? But yeah.
Yeah, I also learned that too. So, in like the most random class. It wasn't even
It wasn't
like
schedule.
a finance class.
No. I want to say it was a state. Something happened because out of nowhere, all kids, all juniors and seniors was mandatory to take it, and then we took a test afterwards. I felt like something had to happen.
You took a test about checkbooks?
We took I want to say it was called like a daily living test. Some test that we had to pass or we weren't going to graduate. But it's like you said, it sounded like expectation.
You just unlocked a memory for me. We learned how to do, like, while we were learning about checkbooks, we watched the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Catch Me If You Can. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, where he was a fraud and he ended up working for the FBI.
Writing fraudulent checks.
Yeah.
And then that's what we were learning. Like, why are you showing us this movie?
So you're teaching me how to be a criminal.
Exactly.
Literally.
And how to get away with it and then get a job.
Do you know that was based on a real story?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was based on a real story.
That's
and he
funny.
really ended up working for the FBI. I wonder where he is now.
I'm going to Google that later.
But like you said, it changes the expectation as an adulthood. And I'm glad actually like my daughter has an agenda because she's one of the things that she struggled with at a young age is organization. So she has her whole homework for the week. The teachers, of course, tell you follow it. You don't, like on Monday, don't do the homework for the week. But having the agenda at such a young age, and like you mentioned, you would take it out, write everything that you need. And the goal is for her to do the same thing as well with the agenda. Right.
And then you can use it as a checklist at the end of the, when you're at home doing your homework. I used to love scratching off.
Oh my goodness. Did you have a different color pens and all that other stuff?
I think I used to, probably in like middle school.
You were that girl.
I was
that girl with a little cute.
You know what pen I had that I love? The thick pen where you could slide the color down, like the red button, green, the green button, brown, the blue button. Yep, had those like master pens.
No, and my daughter has those pens.
They still make those?
They still make them. She would use. Like each color would write for like something. Like the red would be for like my spelling homework, and yellow would be like for my math homework.
Just like the colors in the calendar, full circle moment. You can organize your Google Calendar in different colors for different tasks.
She put an emoji on like at this moment on my phone. Like here we go. She's about to
see your computer.
Just so before I hand my computer away, this woman's probably gonna change every setting.
I'm not gonna change a setting. Okay, I'm not gonna change
everything she touches. She changes. Let me unlock it. Exactly. As we're doing this. This woman will go to our centers and just change settings on our director's computer.
Okay, listen to me.
Everybody's computer.
Let me ask you a question, right?
Here we go.
Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Start with the mouse.
If you know
here we go.
that there is something that your employees could be doing to make their job easier, more efficient, and more productive, but more importantly, just easier, right? Wouldn't you want to share that information with them of like, this is how you could make your, like, a tiny little increase, a tiny little change to make your job a little bit easier. But that little bit easier adds up. It adds up to saving time. No, like the things that I, like yesterday, as simple as that was, right? Yesterday when I was asking her to copy and paste something.
Oh, yeah. See, you made that such a big deal.
No,
in my head it was
no, I didn't.
That seems like I didn't see. Well, that maybe it's the mindset too. I don't see it as a big deal.
Yes, it saved like 0.1 second in the moment. OCD. But like, think about that. Multiply that by 100 texts that you have to send. 0.1 second is gonna turn into
saving an
5
hour.
minutes. Yeah, like it's gonna give you some of your time back. And I swear, I promise you, 10 episodes from now, a couple months from now, when you're actually deep dived into the role and all the responsibilities,
how to cut corners.
Exactly, you're gonna. I promise you, you're gonna come back and be like, thankful for all the little tips and tricks and things to make your job, your day go by easier. So what she was doing yesterday for a specific task was copying and pasting something and sending out text messages every
Do the noise.
every to every child, right? But I needed her to customize it so that she was typing in the child's name for each text message because it wasn't a mass message through our parent communication app, Tadpole.
Which takes a little bit more time, so
Yes.
I do understand.
So because she was customizing, she was backspacing, she was copying, pasting, and then backspacing like each child's name.
No, do
like
it. Delete.
delete.
And then she kept saying at dinner, "Why you delete? Just highlight it."
Yes,
but
highlight and then delete. I will
hit delete.
Yes,
but then I followed up with a good one. And
I was appreciative
because like
I was like, that's an excellent idea. Let me finish.
Because you open up a whole level. I will say, the more you talk to me, the more you give me ideas. I'm like, wait a minute.
So
okay,
instead
let's up
of
it up a little bit.
deleting the name, like each letter, I said, why don't you just double tap, highlight, delete, type the new name? And then a couple minutes later, she came back and she was like, I could just double tap and start typing the name. I don't have to hit delete. I said, that is a great idea. That's excellent. Excellent observation. That's what I'm looking for.
You're making me hot. I'm hot.
Another thing, what she's talking about, I come into the center and change all the settings. I do not. What happens is sometimes I'll need to use a computer at one of my centers. And when I'm using the computer, I notice if you guys are Apple users out there and you have Apple iMacs, the mouse, for whatever stupid reason.
This is a pet peeve. I feel like this is your pet peeve.
The mouse of the computer, when you are trying to scroll up, you have to use your two fingers and move your fingers downwards in order to move the screen up. And if you're trying to scroll down, you have to use your two fingers and scroll up. Make it make sense. No. So there is a setting.
But everybody gets it.
There's a setting in the computer where you can change the mouse to move from what they call like natural to whatever the other, like you can switch it where if you want to scroll down, you can swipe and scroll down. Mm-hmm. If you want to scroll up, you can swipe and scroll up, like as it should be, obviously. Ooh. So I changed the mouse of the computers that I tend to use because I know that makes more sense to me. If they want to change it back, change it back.
They can't change it back because they probably don't even know how to change it back, because the only reason why I make fun of her for those little things is because no one notices. So everybody just uses the computer and still works, but somehow she notices it.
The other thing is that you can change the speed of the mouse.
That threw me off one day. Like, I don't know. I think I texted you. Out of nowhere, I was like, whoa. I was like, did you touch my computer? She's like, yes, I fixed it. Not even like it was something wrong. I fixed it for you.
If you want to make the mouse move quicker on your computer, like if you're using like an actual mouse, like this is a touch pad or whatever. I don't remember what this is called. But like if you're using a mouse for an Apple computer, you can change the speed so that you don't have to like wiggle harder, faster, like do long, whatever. You could just make the mouse faster, and that makes your day easier. Why would you want your mouse to be lollygagging across the computer screen? You got we have stuff to do, people to call, places to be, nap time to cover.
But yet, somehow, some way, before she changed the settings on all the Apple computer, we have made it to 5 centers.
No, it wasn't before. I've been changing the settings and trying to make sure things get done faster since day one. That is how we have made it to approaching 5 centers. Please unlock your computer again. I don't know why your computer is shutting off. So that's another, like, why is it's been a couple seconds, so why is it locking?
You taught me to always make sure my computer is locked because there's sensitive information on there.
Fantastic. Okay. Oh, wow. What are we doing? Your calendar.
Which is open already.
Yes. I think that you need to have a separate, because right now your calendar is connected to everybody else's. Everybody can see what you put in your calendar on the shared calendar.
Correct.
So I'm going to add another.
Can you see my calendar? Like, I think I actually can see all the directors' calendar, but you turn that off. There.
I have like 60 email addresses. The info one.
Okay.
Yes. When I open that calendar, I keep that calendar on the month view, and yes, I can see what everybody puts. But that's not the calendar that I use as a weekly agenda.
Okay.
I use my regular email that you guys always message me on. But I think because I don't want people to like look at your tasks for the day and think that that's I'm going to call this one task list. So now you have a calendar called task list. I'll change the color to red. You can change it to whatever you like after.
Wait, what did you turn off so I know?
Nothing. It's fine.
She's very good.
So you see right now, as you're looking at the calendar on a weekly setting, you have things up here that were on the calendar in your month view that they are still there. If you change it to a month, you will see like all the things that other people have put, whatever.
Oh, I'm still connected to everyone else. I can still
You're still connected. Okay. All that I did was create another calendar, like where you can, I'll show you. Like if you're going to add something,
okay,
you can change what calendar you're putting it under. So see, it's automatically going onto that default calendar.
Okay.
But you can change it to, you should be able to change it to.
Let me see how you do that.
You have all of these things, which leads me to believe we started having this conversation before.
We always have this conversation at least once a year.
And this time we're doing it.
Okay.
But you have all of these things already organized of like things to like paperwork, whatever.
Yes, I had it, and I just never started working from home. But then also
it didn't even have to be working from home to do
but there was other stuff. I added more stuff to it when I was getting ready to work from home, but then there was other things whilst at the center. We were still trying to calendar block while I was at the center, and it just never panned out.
Why?
Because I was at the center.
I used to do this at the center.
Okay. All right.
I didn't? I was never a center director?
Listen, all I'm saying is okay.
Okay. You know, it's so easy for our lovely team members to forget that we once were where they were.
Okay. So I'm choosing my battles and saying okay.
This is how your teachers feel when you try to tell them to do something that you know they should be doing. It's not true?
No.
The teachers that seem to not listen and try to make it seem like it's impossible for them to do their job?
No, because I'm there. So depending on what they're saying, either I know they're lying or like, okay, I understand. I can relate to you. So let's find an alternative. Okay. Yeah.
So you never complained to me about teachers.
These are some pandemic babies. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, but so she's right now saying she has never complained to me about teachers.
I never said that. I'm not at the center. I'm sure I still would complain about teachers. I was at the center yesterday. I think we were complaining about teachers. Well, not complaining, but making like an observation yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yes, if you're adding something to the calendar that you don't want people to like see because it's just stuff for you to know to do, you would add it and then just click your name because that's the default, and then just change it here, task list. So
no one sees it.
No one's going to see that one. Let me discard it. What's today? If you want to go to like, I don't even know why we're here, but you just click on today in order to get back to, so tomorrow, what's this? Help employees develop an ownership mindset. You signed up for a webinar?
I did. Okay.
You don't need to be here because you're not managing anybody, but okay.
This is before.
Okay. Anyway. So if you want to schedule time to like talk to yourself about you see your computer's doing it. Your computer's doing the stupid.
I was wondering how long it's gonna take before you notice because you have this is the first time you're touching my laptop. Since you got it, like you didn't set it up.
But okay, so plan. What did you want to do? The workshop.
Family workshop.
Plan workshop.
She didn't text me back, by the way.
That's probably going to take... Okay, she didn't text you back. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., because she hasn't answered you, you
give
can
her a
say,
call.
call Stephanie. And you can type whatever you want before, like, and then change it after. Or if you forget to change it, you can go in and edit it. And then here, what I would do, because tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., you might not remember, what am I calling Stephanie for? You can say, ask about workshop person, you know? And save it. So now you know that tomorrow at 9 you're doing this. But obviously, you're probably going to be dropping your daughter off to school at 9. So roll it down to 10:30. At 10:30 you call. And then after that, it's like, okay, plan workshop. Specifically, because you're probably not going to have an answer yet from Stephanie's friend about whether she can do it. So specifically, it's like, okay, create plan B and C for the workshop in case whatever, like what little notes to make you remember what you're even talking about. Because I promise you, your calendar might eventually look like mine, where you really might not, before you go to sleep that night, you're not going to remember, I need to do this, and this tomorrow. But when you wake up, you don't have to remember because it will all be there for you. And sometimes I do go to sleep not finishing certain things, but I'll look back at my yesterday and be like, oh yeah, that didn't get done, drag it over. That didn't get done, drag it over.
With the explanation there to help you figure out what it is. And
another thing I did yesterday is before we left, when I opened my calendar to show you guys like what I do or how I do it, I saw that like, oh, we've been here way longer than I expected. I increased the time that we were at Benihana to show that like, okay, this wasn't wasted time. I was actually working during this moment. This is how long it took. It wasn't a 2-hour lunch. It was a 5-hour conversation with lunch and dinner. So you could do that. That will probably be easier for you to get in the habit of it. Like, understanding, what is taking up so much of your time. You could backspace and put things that you already did. So for example, right now, I added this to your calendar, record podcast. That was supposed to be over at 11. It's 12:05. So I am going to go in and change that to show on my end, and it will update on your calendar too. But if it didn't,
it's going to send me a new email.
Yeah, it'll send you a new email or whatever. I'm not so focused on the email, but like just showing what you were working on when you were doing it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I didn't edit it for you, you could yourself like add from the past recorded podcasts. Mm-hmm. So you could see exactly how much time that took for you. Okay. And then we're about to get on the meeting. So then you could put Long Island networking meeting, whatever. So just things like that. We do have to go to get on that meeting, so we don't have time to do this right now. But I think before you leave here today, like I won't bother you about it, but before you leave, I'm gonna ask. Okay. Let me see your calendar. What are you doing today? Tomorrow? Oh, okay. Like planning out your tomorrow. Like what are you gonna do tomorrow? Okay. Basically, is what I'm saying.
All right. I'm probably gonna plan it as we listen to on the Zoom meeting.
Sure. But you don't have to because you have all of the rest of today.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to change the setting?
No, it's your computer, whatever. Do you want me to show you how to change your settings if you'd like?
Actually, yes. It doesn't
exactly. Actually, yes.
It doesn't bother me, but it's good to know. It doesn't, but it's good to know. It definitely is good to know because I'll be the type to like spend 2 hours trying to figure something out.
You go here to system preferences.
Oh, and then I'm getting deja vu. You showed me this. It's right there. Exactly. Yeah, I know how to do it. Yes. Sorry.
Mouse.
You don't have to change it though.
Oh, actually, it's not mouse because you're not using mouse. It's your trackpad.
Oh, so, that's what it's called.
Then you can
make it fast.
Oh, make it fast. Make it fast, please. But I'm crazy.
I'm putting my foot in my mouth, right, guys? Literally.
So yeah, change it to fast. And then it's called scroll for the scrolling stuff. It's called scroll and zoom. And then right now it's labeled as the natural direction. It's not natural.
Apple thinks it's natural.
I'm unchecking it so that now your scrolling is you scroll up to go up and down to go down.
What was also the other setting that was bothering you yesterday when we were out to enrollment?
You know how
dinner?
to do that? The zoom out to switch windows?
Yes, I've done.
Okay. Just checking. I taught you that.
Probably. I was never a big Apple person until I met her. Probably. I'm not even going to take that from you. The answer is yes.
There's also a button.
That I didn't know. That's crazy. I used to like I would what was this?
You have to use 3 fingers. No. You're not tapping. Yeah, no, not tapping. Just scroll. Swipe.
This I didn't know. That was good to know. It was something the right finger click. What click? Ooh, sorry. Click.
Yeah. You have to
I don't think. Remember, I was asking you to right click when I was trying to add a box on a drive. I don't think that setting is on. No. No.
You just have to make sure your fingers are in the appropriate place.
So you see how I want to add a box on the bottom. You was just.
It worked. It's on. That's all for today, folks. Yeah! This has been a fantastic episode.
Very
Gigi, I'm so happy that you are in this new role. And I'm excited for all that you're going to do.
I'm excited too. You know I'm capable of doing it.
No, I fully know that you're not just capable, you're more than capable. You're exceedingly capable. You're going to do extremely well. You are already doing well. I wanted to ask you how it has been working from home, but we'll save that for next time.
Okay.
Oh, we got to oh, no. She just said I will find out and let you know.
You got so happy.
Yeah.
You was probably like, whew.
At least it's not a no.
I agree.
We asked if we could use if you're new here, we're in the process of opening another center in a university, and we asked them if we can host our graduation ceremony for all of our centers combined at the university, and then combine that with a grand opening, because around that time we would likely be opening the center inside the university. And we've been seeking a new place to have our graduation ceremony. So all exciting things. But anyway,
we still need to call plan A and plan B just to make sure.
The libraries?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we can. Or you will.
But we're not scrambling last minute. Tomorrow's Administrative Professionals Day. And I only know that because that's when we plan out the whole thing. What are we doing for our administrative team?
We've never done anything for Administrative Professional Day.
And maybe that is the issue.
What issue? Our admins are fantastic. You have a problem with our admin team?
I don't. They're amazing. I love them. Which is why we should. I don't think we ever big up our administrative team. We do occasionally, but not saying that we shouldn't go out for teachers, but we do Teachers Appreciation Week. I don't think we've ever had just a day for administration just to say thank you. You do a great job during Christmas. I think that's really good to get us. I think last year you got us all mug that says here for another meeting, which I thought was the funniest, cutest thing, something like that.
I know she didn't just try to play me and say, you do a great job, you got us mugs.
No, she got us more than mugs. But I'm just thinking when we do stuff, it's really more so for the holidays. But
we've taken our team on dinners, and the whole cruise was actually meant for admin specifically.
True.
And admin is going.
I forgot about the cruise.
Yeah, we do stuff for admin. Admin gets the most pay. The thing is that you guys as administrators get the most pay and the most access to benefits and the more flexibility with time off.
It's Administrative Day every day. Sorry, I take it back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's not that, not to say that I don't care to pour into administrators or highlight them. I do, but I do honestly feel like I do that every day. I tell you guys I love you so much.
You do.
I just brought you out to lunch randomly yesterday.
Only because it's on the calendar. I don't know.
We could do some shout outs.
We could do that. It's Administration Professional Day. Maybe we could just shout outs on
our calendar, our website.
It's on It's on, let me see if it's on our website. It's on our personal calendar.
We really got to go. I got a question for these people. If you do anything for Administrative Professional Day for your centers, or if you have an idea, definitely let us know. Put it in the comment section below. If you are listening to this audio only, go over to youtube.com/JannyChristine, subscribe there, watch the video replay so you can see my lovely calendar and our beautiful faces. If you are only listening to this through YouTube, then head over to your favorite podcast streaming platform, search for Childcare Sights and Sounds, and while you're there, scroll down to the bottom and leave a rating and review. And if you already left us a rating and review, it would be super helpful if you could just go do it again. I think you could leave multiple ratings on Apple Podcasts specifically. So go over there, leave us a rating, and if you have a suggestion or comment about this episode, even if you're listening audio only, leave that suggestion or comment in the review section. It doesn't have to just be, I love you guys. It could be some ideas, some honest feedback, some question and answers.
Our conversations. If you guys have ideas of things that I possibly should look into in this new role of mine, because this is a new role. So yeah, leave suggestion ideas, comments. We like to read them.
Yes. And next time you see us, we maybe next time or the next time after that, we will be with Miss Brandy Hall from Great Expectations in Memphis, Tennessee. Hey. She's coming in 3 days on Friday. Today's Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We have to find a place to take her to dinner.
I would say Benihana's, but they're sick and tired of us.
We should actually look for a New York place. Benihana's all over the place.
Where did you do your intake of things she likes, snacks?
I sent it to her.
So did she send it back in?
No, not yet.
So let's take a look at that, and then that could give us an idea of where to possibly take her out for.
Yeah. Another thing, if you have a childcare industry professional, whether it be a coach, consultant, a company, or just someone that's doing great things in childcare and you want to hear their voice on this podcast, please send our podcast to them. Say, be a guest over here, and then tag them. Send it to me. You can follow me on Instagram at Dani Christine Consulting, and you can follow Gigi at
Gigi.solutions.
Wow. Great job. First time.
That's because I've had more time to process and think things working from home.
We should get t-shirts with just our at name on it. That could be our podcast uniform so we don't have to keep saying it. At Gigi.solutions.
There's people that do that. Have it either post up their IG, their Facebook, everything behind them on their shirts and just look, it's constantly there. I agree.
Yeah. All right. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.